Welcome to the video lecture for section 5.3. This section covers the differences between ser and estar, as well as adjectives that change their meaning when used with ser or estar. So as a review, both ser and estar mean to be in English, and in Spanish, it separates the meaning into two different verbs, ser and estar. Ser can be viewed as more of a permanent characteristic or something that makes up the essence of another thing, whereas estar is more of a temporary verb. So to remember the uses of both ser and estar, we have two different acronyms. For ser, the acronym is doctor. You can see here all of the uses as well as some examples. With estar, we use the acronym place. Here you can see the acronym words as well as some examples for each of them. Now, there are some adjectives that can be used with both ser and estar. When they are used, it can change its meaning. For example, here we have the sentence Juan es delgado and Juan está más delgado hoy. Now, even though both the sentences use the adjective delgado, by using the verb ser and estar, it changes the meaning of the sentence. So in the first case, Juan es delgado, we know that ser is more of a permanent, long-term verb. So by saying Juan es delgado, it's implying that he's always thin. It's a characteristic of Juan. Whereas in this case, by using the verb estar, Juan está más delgado hoy, it's implying that normally he's not that thin, and now today he appears thin. So it's more of a short-term condition of being thin. In this case, Ana es nerviosa and Ana está nerviosa por el examen. The first one, Ana es nerviosa, since it's using the verb ser, we know that it's a long-term characteristic of Ana to be nervous. So it's part of who she is to be nervous. So Ana es nerviosa. In this case, Ana está nerviosa por el examen. She may not always be nervous, but right now in this moment she's nervous because she has an exam. She'll probably stop being nervous after the exam. No? So even though it uses the same adjective, by using ser and estar, you can change the time frame of when that adjective is applied to the subject. Another case here, Juan es limpio or Juan está limpio hoy. By using ser, it indicates that Juan is always clean, whereas by using estar, it indicates that it's more of a temporary thing, that's only today that he's clean. One thing you can also note is that by indicating a time frame, so hoy, over here hoy as well, or por el examen, just during this exam, it shows that it's more of a short-term characteristic. There are also several adjectives that change their meaning when using either ser or estar. For example, listo, when used with ser, it indicates that someone's smart, so el chico es listo. But when it's used with estar, it indicates that a person is ready. So el chico está listo, the boy is ready. La profesora es mala indicates that the professor is bad, it's a bad person, whereas la profesora está mala indicates that the professor is sick. Aburrido, when used with ser, indicates that the person is always boring, whereas when it's used with está, it indicates an emotion showing a more short-term adjective. Verdes, las peras son verdes, talks about the color, the physical description of it, whereas las peras están verdes indicates a condition of it to be ripe. El gato es vivo, the adjective vivo in this case with ser indicates that it's clever, whereas estar vivo indicates a condition to be alive. Finally, seguro, when used with ser, indicates that it means confident. El hombre es seguro, whereas when it's used with the verb estar, indicates that they're not sure. Ivan no está seguro. The main ones that you'll see will be listo. You can also see aburrido and verdes. So for now, look at these ones. These are some of the more high-frequency adjectives that change meaning when used with either ser or estar. So for the homework, each of these activities only uses ser or estar. Although depending on the context, the wider context, it could be one or the other. In all of these, only one verb is correct. So for the first one, la habitación, blank, limpio y ordenado. Well, it's talking about a condition of it, clean and ordered. So the only logical choice would be estar. So la habitación está limpio y ordenado. Number 2, el restaurante del hotel blank excelente. Now, in this case, you're talking about a description or a characteristic of the restaurant, so you would use the verb ser. El restaurante del hotel es excelente. La puerta del ascensor blank abierta. The door of the elevator is open. We know that's a condition, so it would be la puerta del ascensor está abierta. Los otros huéspedes blank franceses. The other guests blank French. We know that's origin or a characteristic or description, so it would be the verb ser. Los otros huéspedes son franceses. And then finally, yo blank cansada de viajar. That would indicate an emotion or condition. So yo estoy cansada de viajar.